amount of questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. One of the things I'm interested in is the question of prosecutorial conduct, because there can be situations where prosecutors, either in the worst of cases, are intentionally, late or obstruct the provision of evidence, or much more likely unintentionally do that. And one of the problems with maximum caps is that it reduces maximum cap reductions, is it reduces the ability to respond to that kind of misconduct. And an amendment paper I haven't talked about yet is in respect of section 9G, and it's really again about late pleas. So where there is a late plea, for example, to give you the most concrete kind of example, the police don't provide a critical document which is incriminating, or perhaps entirely without fault, a witness comes forward at the last minute and says, look, I've got this document, and it is conclusive. So the plea is essentially a steps of the court plea. Now, that is not the defendant's fault. The defendant and their legal counsel assessed the matter on the basis of the disclosure that was given to them. Now, I accept that the victim has not had the benefit of an early plea, kind of the first opportunity, but I guess the point is this: the first real opportunity, the first informed opportunity, and the first opportunity where the police had presented all of the evidence to be put in court is on the doorstep of the court. So my proposed amendment paper would add to section 9G, a subsection 5, that would read, provided that where any late plea can be attributed in whole or part to failures or misconduct, and I think failures is important, of the prosecutor or the prosecuting authority, then the judge may impose such maximum reduction as he or she considers appropriate in all of the circumstances, not exceeding 25%. I mean, I don't like that 25%, but that's the maximum cap this legislation imposes. So I'm particularly interested in that, how we factor in these other cases where the lateness of the plea is due to other circumstances. And of course, I've previously spoken to extremely complex legal cases, a fraud case, where whether something is a fraud or not can be very, very hard to understand. And so I'm interested in that. And I guess this relates also to the whole question of manifest injustice, because I think the Minister, when I've raised a different issue, has kind of batted it away with, oh yes, but manifest injustice sorts that out. But manifest injustice is actually, manifest injustice is injustice which is really bad. You can have injustice which apparently is not manifest. And my point is, with a late plea due to prosecutorial misconduct, that is unjust. Now, to say that if it's a bit unjust, we'll get away with it is really bad legislative, process. So how are we going to make sure that the sentence imposed on an offender who's given documents at the last minute is not unjust? And will you adopt that amendment paper, which would make sure that prosecutorial misconduct can be taken into account to get a just outcome?
Rawari Waititi.
Okay, before we get to Rawari, Duncan brings up some good points. What happens if the information is withheld or dragged out or not available or turned up because it got missing in the back of the filing cabinet or whatever? Should that person be reprimanded as a result?
I mean, yeah, it is important, and he brings it up in relation to the caps. As we already can tell from looking at the regulatory impact statement, is that these caps are going to influence judicial decision making. So yeah, what happens if you do have a victim that comes in with a late plea?
Yeah,
I mean, the judges have their hands tied.
Yeah, exactly. What do they do? Or does a late plea? Oh, sorry, I can't give you the deal that you've agreed to because Minister Paul Goldsmith decided otherwise. Does that mean this case simply goes to trial?
Mm.
Could that be a flow-on effect that's going to happen from it?
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Guide, the Order Paper Podcast. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram.